All right. If you wanted to scale your business, work smart, not hard. How can you get on more income generators that can do the actual sales process for you? That's going to be the difference that makes the difference. So if you look at what Rob said, share high income generating task. A high income generating task, if you're not at 6 figures or 7 figures, is to get on more income generating people that can sell the product that you have built. And if you haven't built that product or service yet, then obviously you have to do that first. Obviously, we specialize in online programs. So therefore, an online program is super simple to do. You can do it on the go. You can do it over Zoom. You don't have to, like what Rob was talking about earlier. He's gonna do a live, right? He's gonna do a 6 hour masterclass, and then he's gonna turn that into a piece of content and use that later on down the line. Keep it in his membership, etc. So there's loads of ways of which to do it. I think it's really important to get clear on where your current business is at and what's the key next step. And so therefore I'm going to focus down on the last step, key income generating people within your business. You could get people to work for you commission based only if you have your product and program already. So you could start them on 10%, which means that they're no overhead to you, which means that once you built the systems and the structure and you train them on how to do it, then in a relatively short period of time, you can create a mini army of people that are touch pointing your clients for you. So we do a lot of outbound calls, a lot of inbound. The difference between an outbound call is someone that has, it's what people used to call cold calling, but it's not cold calling today, because an outbound call for us is someone that's registered to a webinar, someone that's bought a book. All right, so if they've bought a book and we're actually actively outreaching those people to have, a great conversation, a 15-minute consultation session. Could we help you? How can we help you with the implementation of the book? Did you get down the bonuses? Did you implement the funnel steps, etc.? And so, we can create those immense touch points. If they want to come down deeper, they can jump on a 60-minute game plan strategy session with one of my team, where they'll actually plan out and plot the exact structure of they need according to their business, and so they walk away with a clear plan. A percentage of those clients will become our client as well, because they'll want to onboard and have support through that process. Not everyone, that's for sure. And then, it's a it's a human touch in this world today, which is, guys, I can't stress it. It's so much easier than that used to be, because if you're putting like the human touch into your online business, as well as all the online things that are more effective, plus it's not your personal time, plus it's not costing you a huge overhead. I mean, that's a massive work smart, not hard. Leverage the new economy, because there's some huge companies out there that have like re-educated people to want to do this skill, and they're looking to work alongside of people that already have a program, that already have a product, and they're looking to just start with a percentage because they want to build up that skill. All right, and when they hit certain levels, obviously it's easy to then start paying. Once you see someone is generating you cash, right? Once they are actively generating your cash and they're taking a percentage of that, then it's a no-brainer to keep on training them. That's a no-brainer that you give them key performance indicators, so that it's a no-brainer that you have, you build out a team. If, for example, if every single income generator was, you were paying 50,000 and they were generating 250,000, then the goal is to literally get on as many people as that possible, and just keep on, keep those measurements tight, and you're good to go. In any business model, that will work. So that's my view. Give me a flash if you want to add in top of that. We've got Carmela, we've got Samantha. Samantha, I'll come to yourself, and then I'll move around to Carmela. We've got Dane, we've got Nichelle, we've got Pfizer, we've got Kianti in the house. All right, to you, Samantha.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, everybody.
Hey.
Hey. My favorite. Okay, so awesome room, really good tactics going to be shared. Make sure you get a pen and a piece of paper, or for my first suggestion, download an app called otter.ai, OTTER.ai. Otter can record things. Now, be very careful. Obviously, if I'm speaking, technically this is my intellectual property because the words coming out of my mouth. Same with if I write things down. But you can take notes really easily with something like otter.ai, because it transcribes the spoken word into British words, and it's actually really good. I've paid for things like rev.com, and they're terrible at translating my actually really good English, which is surprising. I have very, very good English, especially in the UK, but rev.com is terrible with me, maybe because it's an American-based company, and I don't have an American accent. So Otter.ai, amazing, transcribes things, then you can look through it. You can do keyword searches, which saves so much time. You can even record things and then get your VA, like Ed suggested, to go and create things out of the things that you have said when you are in rooms. Or what you could do, and I don't mind if people do this to me, is if I say something super amazing, super valuable, then they take the words that I've said, they make a post about it on Instagram. This is another working smart, not hard tactic, because it leverages other people's audiences. So I say something super amazing. That's me, Samantha. You make a note of it. You then create an Instagram post and you tag me in it, an Instagram post out of what I've said. And you said, Samantha said this awesome thing. And you can go and say, I did this thing instead of, like, she said this thing, it made me do this thing. Or some really top hacks from Rob and Ed and Gary and Carmelia and Samantha and Dane and Michelle and Pfizer and Chianti's room. It was amazing. I learned these things. And then you tag us all in. I, for one, love it when people do that, because it starts a conversation between me and them. Also, you get access to my audience if I choose to share it. Definitely works on stories. I've had so many people with massive accounts share my tiny little account of just 17,000 people over on Instagram. I've had big people share my account because I've shouted out something awesome they've said on Clubhouse or something awesome that they've done. I've given them a high five. I've been their biggest fan, whatever. I don't care. I have no shame. I'm all about just building relationships with people. So I'm very much pro being a massive fan of people talking about what they said and then sharing it on social media, tagging them in. Obviously, use it sparingly. Don't do it every single day. It gets a bit much. But if you do that once a week, then those people are going to take note of you, especially the better your post, the more likely they are. And if you create something for them, trust me, coming up with content can be a little bit burdensome. Yes, you can do systems. Yes, you can have a team. Yes, you can use things like repurpose.io. I'm all about tools. But if somebody else wanted to make some content for me and then wanted me to share it, I'd be so much more likely to share if it's really good content and takes the things that I've already said. So there's some tips for you. I'm a massive believer in not working hard. I've been for a 45-minute run this morning, which I know sounds like hard work, which I guess technically it was. But for me, I actually find when I do exercise, whether it's walking or running, my mind gets really clear and I'm better able to say things during the day. I have ideas and inspiration. This works in the shower for some people. I like to sit in the hot tub at the pool sometimes, or just sit in the pool yesterday. That was nice. I like to have a lot of free white space in my diary, like lots and lots of it, to do lots of thinking, which for me, I would rather, and I know this sounds crazy and completely against the norm, I would rather not have an 8-figure a year business and work all the time and not see my family. I would rather have a smaller business and spend all the time that I do with my son. I take him to school, I pick him up from school. We left a hat at home today, so I ran back and I ran into the school again. No problem, because I leave loads of space so that I can do things like that. If ever he needs something, I can just go and get it. It's not like a stress of, oh, I've got to move this and I've got to move that. So I'm a real big believer in doing the things that actually make you money in your business. So for me, always growing an audience. I've also done an Instagram live this morning. I like to tack things on the back of things. So if I do a run, I do a big walk, I like to try and do a live after it, because normally I'm full of ideas. I'm really happy and motivated. Loads of people always say on my lives, I'm always incredibly bouncy, but that's normally because I tack it onto the back of doing something that's either lots of free space or lots of exercise that brings me energy. And then I add on the doing the live so that it doesn't become a big burden of something. Oh, I've got to do a live at some point today. Oh, I don't know what to talk about. I just tack it on the end of something that I already do that's part of my routine. And that's actually from something called a book called Tiny Habits by a Professor BJ Fogg, who, funnily enough, so the people that came up with Instagram did so in one of his behavioral science classes over at Stanford. So Rohan, who's one of the 2 people that made this app, was also in his behavioral science class at Stanford. So his way of looking at habits and how our brains work is so powerful that you're using an app that's kind of come out of the brain of one of his students. And you've probably used Instagram too. So I'm a real big believer in tiny habits, finding ways of tacking things on so they don't become a massive big burden, which actually means that then you are working much smarter because you're just doing the things that you need to do on a consistent basis which, while doesn't sound very sexy, is actually the thing that makes the biggest difference, is just being consistent and just showing up day after day after day after day. You'll grow a massive audience. The bigger your audience, the more people who will find you. They will be in a position to want to buy your things. You can make offers to them. They're going to say yes. They're going to say no. That's okay. Marketing's all about pushing people away too. And then the more people that you can make offers to, the more sales you're actually going to make, which means your business is going to be bigger. And then you can continue to spend the time on things you actually want to do. Please don't let yourself be overwhelmed. Don't believe the hype that you have to be busy all the time doing actual work. You're allowed to go and see your family and do free time stuff and go on holiday if you want to, or do all that stuff. And if you don't like that stuff, then that's fine, and you can do other things too. Thanks very much. Bye.
Ooh, Samantha, what a little mini masterclass. I love that. Yeah, I mean, just obviously there's lots there that were shared, but just the simplicity of consistency over a period of time is absolutely a massive game changer. Just consistently building habits and finding what those habits are for you, I couldn't agree more. Like, it's an essential component of building any business, staying consistent. So super cool, great share. Carmela, I'll go to yourself. Guys, we're just doing some quick shares, tangible that the audience can take away. But work smart, not hard. Leverage. I know you're doing amazing things over in the dating space. What do you
Yeah,
want to share with the audience today?
thank you. So I'm going to share two websites, and the tips I'm going to share are going to be talking about media, how to acquire media, earn media, paid media, free media, and leveraging that media once you get it. Because I can't think of a higher credibility piece than for you to have a network, a distribution channel, a major media network, literally vouching for you when you're put on air, on their radio, in their publication. That is honoring you as a expert in your field. So whatever media or press that you can get is really important. One tool that people can use is either a newswire, a news release. Cision, Cision is one service which I use. They also have paid services where you have access to reporters, you have access to pitch, and you also are in touch with influencers. One website which you can subscribe to, anybody can subscribe to, is Help a Reporter. It's called HARO. HARO, and the acronym is Help a Reporter Out. So if you subscribe to this list 3 times a day, in the morning, in the afternoon, and evening, depending on where you are in the country, in the world, and you pick your titles and subjects that you want to be notified when journalists are looking, like literally journalists are looking for people to quote for stories. And also, even if you don't get that particular pitch, you will be on their roster, and basically heads up that, okay, you may not be great for this story, but you could be up for that next story. And then finally, for people who are just sick and tired of thinking about content, if you are someone that has a blog, if you're wanting to be an expert in your field, then you're having to constantly come up with content. Another website that shows the top most Googled answers or questions is answerthepublic.com. So for the men, I basically I went to answerthepublic.com. You can have a paid version or a free version. Even on the free version, I typed in online dating. And with online dating, there were 380 results of questions. The top 79 questions for online dating are in the category of which, why, when, who, what, how, will, where. Just as an example, when does online dating conversations die off? Who does online dating? Can online dating lead to love? Which online dating sites which online dating site is best for me? Right away, I have 79 variety of titles that I can write a piece of content, do a 60-second TikTok on, do a reel on in my particular niche. And this is the free version, guys. So you'll never run out of content and ideas. And not only is it relevant, it's using keyword terms, and it's using things that people are actually typing in. I can't think of a smarter way to leverage your time than have to sit there and think, oh, what's Elle doing right now? What is, Huffington Post writing about? And I've done that before. I'm looking at the top blogs, I'm looking at Google Trends, I'm looking at what are people talking about right now that I can chime into as an expert and give my point of view. So this is coming from media content ideas and not having to, sit there and rack your brain about what do your people want? What are the pain points that they are looking for? What are the questions that they're asking? It's right here in all three of those different websites. So that's my tip, Ed. Thank you.
Oh, I couldn't unmute there. Camilla, awesome. And yeah, we use them too. So 100% guys, write that down. And so therefore, when you strategically start planning your content, the whole thing becomes much easier. And I think, like with a little bit of thought and a little bit of practice, rather than trying to think, oh, I don't know what to create, I don't know what to actually, put content out, actually go out. It's already out there. As Carmela said, it's
It's
already,
so easy. And there's stuff that you forget about, Ed, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. And it's just if you're stuck on an idea, go to answerthepublic.com, go to help a reporter out. You'll see what news is talking about, and it'll rack your brain to come up with some new content ideas. So thank you.
no, great share. And I think it's a continued thinking process. If it's already out there already problems are out there. How can I just use these structures? How can I use like what's already out online and then build content around it? So therefore, it's done on it. Like I'll add in some on the back of that, as Camilla said. Like you can just literally type into YouTube and type like like the titles of the sort of stuff that you would be looking for to position for your um your content, right? And I guarantee you there are a few that do really well, but most won't do. And you can look at the titles that do well, and you can just tweak them and just put content out off the back of that. You could also you go to Facebook groups and you can use the search finder in the top right, and you can literally type, say for example you're researching your client, which is something that you should consistently do. A lot of people think, oh my god, like this is just something to do when you get started. You should always be evaluating the information off the back of your content, off the back of your webinar, off the back of your ads. If your ad doesn't work, because your messaging doesn't work. If your webinar doesn't work, it's because your messaging in the webinar doesn't work. If your sales calls aren't working, it's not because you got bad clients. It's because you're probably not understanding their problem at a deeper level. And so at some stage, it's always to do with that process. It's the front end message to the content piece. All right, we specialize in add to a 26-minute presentation, transition to sale, which can happen in a 3-step process on scale very quickly online today, depending again on niche, depending on the outcome for the client that you're delivering, and especially, again, depending on price point of which you're going into. But in essence, when people say, oh, it's not working, it's because the messaging within the ad is not working, or the content piece is not quite working. It's not tracking the client's experience efficiently. And if the sales process isn't tracking the client's process efficiently, then you won't make a sale. So great share. And I think go into Facebook groups. You can literally use a search finder at the top of a Facebook group and literally search, like you can type in and you can pull up all of the recent posts under that title. So if it's, for example, we go into the coaching consultancy groups to look at what the key challenges are. We have programs in health, wealth, and relationships. So we like to kind of, find out what's going on. Carmilla, just a heads up also, in your space, you probably know this, but there's some amazing relationship groups out there. And a lot of the relationship space aren't very good at monetizing and aren't very good at marketing as a whole. So, we spend a lot of time doing research on that sort of thing. Who else wanted to add to that? I got Diane. I got Gary here, buddy.
I'll just chime in on the back just to add one more tool.
And you go in, Gary, and then I'll come down to Dane.
Yeah, just really quickly, just BuzzSumo. It's BuzzSumo. What that tool does, just since Carmelia mentioned a bunch of tools, is it tells you what's viral right now, and it tells you what content across the internet is going viral. So that allows you to do some viral hijacking, meaning if you create content Like I went and searched for Floyd Mayweather, and it gives me all of the trending topics about Floyd Mayweather. So if you're going to interview Floyd Mayweather like Rob's done, and you do a quick search here, you'll know he just got his 29th Rolls Royce. You'll know he just opened up the door to his $8 million house. So learning little things like that and then being able to hijack that virality has worked out really well for me. And that's Buzz. So BUZZSUMO.com. Back to you, Ed.
Yeah, I mean, BuzzSumo is an epic resource. You can also on that track, people's ads, and so therefore you can see what ads are performing and what ads aren't. Again, if someone is running an ad in a certain field and it's been doing that for over a period of time, then obviously that works. No one wants to burn money, so yeah, it's a great resource. 100%, Gary. Appreciate that. Thanks for the share, dude. Dane in the house. We're just doing quick work smart, not hard, leverage tools, like what you can do, whether it's strategic, whether it's a tool, whether it's a mindset, you name it. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks, guys. I've been popping in these rooms now for a couple of weeks, so thanks for everything you're doing. Gary, Rob, Camelia, Samantha, and Ed. Really do appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Dane. I run a branding and marketing agency. Quick story of a mindset that's really helped me work smart and not hard was when I actually started my agency 2 years ago. I was so broke and working a full-time job. I actually had to calculate the amount of kilometers on my vehicle and how much petrol I would need to get to and from work. Like I was literally counting cents. When I started my business, I was working 12-hour days and commuting was a part of that. So it was 12 hours just commuting and working. And then by the time I get home at the end of the day, like I was pretty wrecked, pretty sideways, and I had a fiance and a baby on the way. But long story short, I realized quickly that there's only 3 currencies I had access to. One was money, which I didn't have any of. 2, which was time. I was very time poor at that time. And the third, which was leverage. And for me, what leverage means to me is who's in my network, who can help me, what tools do I have at my disposal, and how can I get the maximum reward for what little I have. So I didn't have money to invest. I had little time to invest, but I focused on getting as much leverage as I potentially could behind my business, which social media is fantastic for. I started posting graphics on my Instagram page as I'm a graphic designer. And after 3 months, 90 days of being very consistent, putting out quality content, I started getting a lot of inquiries for other people to have me make their content for them. Fast track that forward 6 months. I was making 40,000 a month as a solopreneur by myself with no team. And I actually ended up in a situation where I was working 18-hour days every day of the week to keep up with the exponential growth. So for me, I had to learn quickly that that's not sustainable, it's not healthy, and there's no way anyone could do that without burning out. I had to get a lot smarter about how I grew my company. I started hiring people. So I was in a position where I'd made a lot of money, and now I was reinvesting that back into leveraging other people to come and help me. So the real tip here I have is that if you're listening to this and you're time poor and you don't have the resources financially to grow your company, you have to lean into your leverage. And you have to think about who is immediately around me that I can utilize to help me grow my business. So one thing I did before all of this stuff happened and my company started growing was I started phoning and texting and emailing people and spending 80% of what little time I had to try and connect with people. And I made it a very simple goal, and anyone can do this. Try to do something meaningful to 5 people in your network every day and try to help them somehow in some way with your business. And that stacks momentum behind your business. So if you're lacking time and money, look at your network and think to yourself, who can I help for free? Who can I build a relationship with? And who can I connect with and help them? Because here's what happens. If you start doing that to people immediately around you, as soon as you have a favor to ask and you ask them, they're a lot more likely to want to help you out. So that's the first mindset that I had, was I had to utilize my network to grow my company. Fast forward to when I was working ridiculous hours, it was difficult for me because I didn't want to hire people too quickly, because that comes with a lot of risks. You have to get, insurance, you have to pay wages, there's all the headaches of hiring and everything that comes with it. So for me, it was fear was holding me back. So if you're listening to this and you're in a position of fear and you have a little bit of money and you don't have much time and you've got a bit of leverage in your network, you have to think about, am I spending 80% of my time on things that make my company money? And at the time when I was doing those long days, that wasn't the case. I was spending most of my time running invoices, doing emails, building the content for people and so on. So I had to start restructuring my business. And one book that helped me do that, and you guys have probably heard of this, is called The E-Myth. So I downloaded the audio tape, I listened to that book, and it taught me how to start thinking about, I got to spend 80% of my time on what I'm great at, which is making sales. And I have to delegate everything else to my team. And it was scary. And I was reinvesting almost everything back into my company at that point. But 2 years later, now we have a team of 10 full-time staff and we're building things around the clock. And it all came because at the beginning, I had to leverage what little I had. But later on, as business progresses, you have to be smart. You have to reinvest what little you have back into the business, because what gets you from zero to 100,000, you need that same mentality to go from 100,000 up to 1 million. You can't hoard money. You can't hold on to it. You need to reinvest it back into people. I was even ridiculous with it, where I calculated that I was spending 3 to 4 hours a week cleaning my house. And I knew that if I spent that same 3 or 4 hours on sales, that it would make me far more money than the money it would cost me to pay for a cleaner. So even little things like that, like people helping around the house, people helping out with groceries. We had pre-made meals delivered to our house. So when you have little time, you have to leverage what you can to help yourself get ahead. But yeah, hopefully this helps, guys. This is Dane, and I'm finished speaking. Back to you, Ed.
Dane, awesome share, buddy. And yeah, just the simple things as well. I swear, like in a world of where we did a similar thing in the beginning of like where lockdown was a real problem, like just reaching your clients and being, being human, I think is such an easy skill. And people, I don't know, maybe they're a bit lazy today in today's market. They don't actively like want to just pick up a device and connect with their clients, and it's super simple to do. You can build it in, and regardless of what scale of business you're at, I still recommend it as a really, again, you don't have to be that person doing it, but it's really easy to build a resource where you can, touch point with your clients. What Dane shared there was really powerful, based on the fact that, like at the end of the day, if you don't do this, you don't see how things are changing in the market, right? And the market moves very, very quickly. A recent example, and well, not so recent, but a recent example that you would remember was Blockbuster, for example. Blockbuster got so big as a business, they thought that they were better than the market. You're never better than the market. The market defines your business. And if you don't stay in tune with what the market is doing, then you are dead. And look where Blockbuster are today. Like they are dead. They went bankrupt because they said, like it's a very famous story. I'm sure you've heard it before, but they had an opportunity to partner with Netflix for $1 million, $1 million, and Netflix was looking to partner with Blockbuster, and they got rejected. And Blockbuster said that no one would actually download videos on their phone, that no one wanted to watch videos on their phone. They thought they knew the market better, and they said, look, the reason that people go to Blockbuster is for the experience, that they like to turn up and they like to actually, pick the video, etc., etc., etc. And look, there's some truth to that, because that was an enjoyable experience. Those that can remember that, like that was the nice experience of going to the video store, selecting it, getting snacks, and then coming back and excited and having that experience. That was great. But what was bad about that experience was the after that experience. What happened is that if you didn't return the video by a certain date, then you would get penalized. And so, this is how the market moves. And so Netflix, one of their key ways in which they re-educated the market was by going against what Netflix said. After they got rejected, they decided to take the economy, literally looks at Blockbuster's key market, looked at what the clients love doing. They love that experience. Okay, that's for sure. They weren't going to compete on that, but what they could compete on is the bad experience that Blockbuster would give you. They would give you fines, and they'd keep on building that fine up. So Netflix marketing plan was to go against the fine and say you can have it completely for free. You can keep it. There's no fund. There's no there's no fee for you returning it or not. So they used, that marketing message from that business. Then basically, literally today, they are one of the most powerful media platforms in the world. I mean, you get your documentary on Netflix, it's job done. You're good to go because you've got access to millions of people that are on a subscription-based model that love that platform. And so therefore the market decides all the time, and so therefore a really great share, because it's important to keep in touch with what's happening with the market. So really important. Hey Rob, hey, how you doing? You're back in the house?
I'm in the house, Ed. Really enjoyed listening to that share. And there's a similar story, but it's not from a new company. It's from a company within a company. But Google X are a incubator for Google, where they essentially start these little side projects and they're given autonomy to go and freely experiment. In fact, I believe with companies like Google X, it might even be Google X, the goal is to disprove or test something to the point where it's proven not to work. Why? Because what you're left with is likely to work. And Match.com was one of, if not the biggest dating online services out there. And they set up their own little mini Google X style testy little side projecty platform called Tinder. Now, had they not gone, oh, wait a minute, let's have a play and an experiment with this thing over here, which probably is going to fail, then they may have had a similar story to what happened with Blockbuster. So being innovative, moving with the times, testing new things, being experimental, this is all part of working smart and not hard. It's also, it brings in the playful element. So Ed, I've let me see if I can find this. I haven't sent this to my MD yet, so this is very new. I am on overdrive at the moment, Ed, of creating new things and solutions and stuff like that. So I created a code of autonomy for my staff because, as I shared in the last room in a bit of a ranty way, I'm sort of still from the strategic, not from the operational level, but I'm getting in there and figuring out, right, how do we better ourselves, disrupt ourselves? How do we ensure that we grow globally? And what needs fixing? So I've created this code of autonomy. So the first point is data. Data never lies. Know all of your statistics. So I've realized in my company that there's not enough focus on the right kind of data. They do cost per click, cost per lead, yada yada, yawn, but they're not looking at all of the right sets of data. So I felt like saying, Ed, data never lies, people do. But that's probably a bit harsh for my internal code of autonomy for my staff. So I left the people do bit out. So data never lies, know all your stats. So basically, my staff can do what they want as long as if I ask them what they're doing, they can back it up with data. So someone with the right mindset should really enjoy that. I've got freedom and autonomy to do what I want, as long as if Rob asks me, why did you spend this and why did you do this? I can back it up with data. So I think tracking data is working smart, not hard. The next thing is the straight line approach. I don't know if anyone has staff or meetings or if anyone works in an organization where there's a load of chit chat and waffle and defensiveness and blah, blah. I'm fucking sick of all that. I have to be honest. I'm 42. I want my life. I want my time. I don't want to have to spend days and weeks going through layers of defensiveness and bullshit. So I want to give my staff the autonomy to be direct, fair, and true. So I want a straight line approach to communication all the way down the line. Be direct, but fair, but true, and don't take offense. No offense will be taken. The third code of autonomy, Ed, is speed. And I think speed is a massive resource and commodity, which you can vastly leverage, or you can get left behind. So I put it speed, communicate fast and never be the bottleneck. The amount of emails that I'm waiting for that were sent in 1985 that probably needed a 3-line answer. Man, faster. The next in this new code of autonomy is autonomy, which is if it's progressive, innovative, personal, and profitable, do it without permission. So our 3 core values in my company, we have 75 staff in this one training company I'm talking about. Our values are progressive, innovative, personal. So if I want to remove fluff, if I want to increase speed, I have to give people autonomy to go and do it without permission. So autonomy is if it's progressive, innovative, personal, and profitable, do it without permission. Do it first, ask for permission later. But if they come back and they've done something and it's not progressive or innovative or personal or profitable, then they're going to have to answer to that. The next thing in the code of autonomy. Now, Ed, no one ever talks about this in these rooms. Work hard, play hard. Life is fucking short. It's too short not to enjoy yourself. I want my place of work to be a place where people like to be, where they have fun, where they're around cool people. So let's work hard and let's play hard. There's 3 others that are based on our brand values, but I won't go into any more detail with them. But essentially what I've tried to create here, Ed, is to remove all friction and bottlenecks within our organization and allow autonomy and speed of decisions for people to implement without fear, based on having the data, the straightest line, the quickest route, with autonomy and playing as hard as you work. And I'm hoping that this cascading through our culture. Now, by the way, I have 75 people in this particular organization. Some people might be like, well, I have none or one. Well, this can be sent to your outsourcer or your VA or your admin assistant, or you can have this code of autonomy for you in your organization. But as you scale, you will need people as well as process and other things, to basically manage the customer service and the increased volume of sales that you'll generate. So, that's just sort of jumping off the back of what you said, Ed. The next thing I'd like to add in working smart, not hard, is I believe there is one single way you can work smart and not hard that probably trumps all others. And that is by creating assets. So an asset is something that you do once, and that once might be in 1 hour, or it might take 3, 6, 12 months to build. But you build something that has an ongoing, residual, and recurring benefit. So in the last room, I was talking about some breakages within my organization, and Gary was saying, there's a piece of software called HubSpot that might fix that. Or if you want to sell information, if you wrote a book on it, and that book was evergreen, like Think and Grow Rich is, you might earn 30 grand a year for the rest of your life based on the creation of that book. So you build assets that have recurring, ongoing, residual, even passive income, benefits, time liberation, etc. So I believe there are 15 main types of assets, and I'm going to share them with you right now. Here we go, super fast, because I want to share in detail, but I don't want to take the whole stage for the whole day. So if you want to work smarter and not harder, and you want the maximum amount of leverage, you need one or more or all of the following 15 assets. Asset number 1 is a book. You write the book once, you earn on it forever. That's why I've written 18 books. Asset number 2 is quite new. It's audio assets. So of course, radio isn't new, but often that wasn't replayed. Podcasts sort of new. Clubhouse is very new. Audiobooks are not that new, but there's more and more audiobook platforms, launching, seem to be month by month. But you could even just take your book. So I've written a book called Money, which is published by the second biggest publisher in the world, and I'm told it's the UK's best-selling book on money. And I sell more than double the copies because I'm on Audible as well as Amazon. Then Blinkist took that and put a summary version, and I sell more through Blinkist, etc. So you create podcast episodes that have ads or sponsors. You have Clubhouse rooms that you could get ads or sponsors. You have audio books, and you're on all the audiobook channels. all of a sudden you've got more assets. So books are number one, audio is number two. Number three is royalties. Now that could be music, that could be film, that could be IP, which I'll come to in a moment. So what can you create that you get paid on an ongoing basis for, to essentially license or rent to someone? Number four type of asset is actually personal brand. So the personal brand could be an asset in terms of you could get sponsors, you could run ads, you could have fan funding, you could have the monetization tools, supporter, rob.team, jl.club, premium channels, you name it. Creator coins, like Gary has his creator coin. So many new now personal brand related recurring income streams. So your personal brand is an asset. That's why we talk about it so much. The fifth type of asset is online income through membership sites. So Rock Team, JL.club, your own members or subscription platform. The sixth type is affiliate earnings. If Gary promoted my podcast course, I'll give him 50%. He earns 50% just by offering it out, but he doesn't have to create it, write it, deliver it. Pretty good deal for him. He gets half the money, doesn't have to do any of the work other than just offer it to his community. So that's affiliate earnings. That's a great way to create residual income. That's working really smart because you're leveraging someone else's time and you're leveraging your online platforms. The seventh way is to have other people do that for you. So let's do it the other way around. So Gary has me promote him. So let's say he's got his consultancy and he helps build personal brands and I promote him. So he promotes me as an affiliate and gets an affiliate earnings. I promote him the other way around. So if you have products or services, can people promote you? The next one is intellectual property. So what do you know that others don't? What could you systemize that others haven't? What software or process or result or franchise? Intellectual property could be some kind of online licensable, systemizable piece of information. Could almost be an invention, like Dyson with the vacuum cleaner technology, for example. The next one is a franchise. My good friend Matt Fides, who was Michael Jackson's bodyguard, has 1,005, I believe, martial arts and dance franchises. So you could take your information and you could sell it in different locations across the world as a franchise. The next asset is e-commerce. So you leverage Amazon, Shopify, Etsy, eBay, Depop. There's so many online platforms that have traffic going to it where you could have products and services online that people buy online, and you can automate that process. Then there's ad revenue, then there's sponsorship. So if you have a podcast, a YouTube channel, an Instagram platform, an email database, TikTok following, WhatsApp following, Discord following, anywhere where you have a following, you could potentially run ads or have sponsors to those platforms, which is why I believe having a personal brand is one of the greatest work smart, not hard platforms or strategies, even though you're also working hard as well as smart. By the way, you don't have to work smart and not hard. You could work smart and hard if you want maximum growth. The next thing you can do is lend money, but we'll talk about that for a different day. Make sure that you get security when you lend money. The next one, which is really powerful, is information. What's in your head that others don't know as well as you? You can sell that information. That is a multi-billion-dollar industry right now. The next one is real estate. And then the final one is investing in companies, either through the stock market or directly, like many of us on the platform might have invested into Clubhouse or Tesla, or of course cryptocurrencies or whatever. So these are, in my view, actually there's 16 there, not 15. The 16 different assets that you can create that create recurring, ongoing, passive and residual benefit in income or time saving. And therefore they are the things that you want to create when you're working smart. Now, what I like to do is work hard to create it. So then I'm leveraging the ongoing benefit of it. So I don't mind writing a book. I don't mind doing a lot of research because I know that book's going to earn for me for the next, could be 20, 30 years. I wrote my first book in 2008. I'm still earning off of it today. Now, I'm running a brand new challenge stroke masterclass hybrid called the Recurring Income Masterclass. If you'd like free access, then this is what you need to do. Hit my orange head. Go to the bottom of my profile here on Clubhouse. This is important, this bit. Follow me on Twitter, not Instagram. I've had too many people message me on Instagram and my account's been restricted temporarily. I've been slapped by So hit on my profile by hitting my orange head, going to the bottom, hit my Twitter link there. Follow me on Twitter so that your DM goes into my inbox there, and just DM me the word money. And I'm going to give you free access to something new. Actually, I don't know if I've never seen anyone do this, but I've seen people do 5-day challenges and I've seen people do masterclass courses. I've never seen anyone do a hybrid of a masterclass course and a challenge. So what I'm going to do when you DM me the word money on Twitter, once you followed me, is I am going to give you access. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you just to register, and then I will give you access before this is live and before I sell it. I will be recording this and then selling it as a course, by the way. So you'll essentially waive that fee. It'll be a gift. Why would I do that? Because I want some people active in the challenge. So don't mind. These in July. So maybe in a month's time. I'm going to do 3 modules a day for 5 days. That's 15 modules. Some of them will be interviews with experts. Some of them will be me sharing content on each one of those 15 or 16 assets, how to create it to create residual income. I'll be doing competitions, challenges, and prizes as well to make it fun. And hopefully you could win some money or some places on some cool courses simply by DMing me the word money on Twitter right now. Now, what will happen is you DM me the word money, my VA will go in and reply to you, and he'll ask you just to register. When you register there, I'm also going to give you a free copy of my new book, Increase Your Fees with Ease, when it's finished. And I'm going to give you some access to some other money resources like interviews with billionaires and other content I've got around money that I've been building for many years, in fact. I actually... one of the best books I read on money was How to Be a Billionaire by Martin Fridson. I actually interviewed him, deep dive. It's a rare interview of him on the guy who's interviewed more billionaires than me. I've got that interview and all sorts of other content. So just DM me the word money on Twitter, not on Instagram, on Twitter, because unfortunately I've had to message thousands of people over the last 10 days or so on Instagram, and they don't really like it. It's botty behavior. So they just sort of restrict your account messaging for a day or two. So I've got to use Twitter for now to give you your gifts. DM me the word money on Twitter. So yeah, hopefully you found those useful, those 15, 16 different assets that you build to create recurring income. For me, go on.
Let me jump in on that because so just everyone is clear. So do a PTR refresh. That's Rob with the orange head. So make sure you DM him money over Twitter, on Twitter specifically, because what happens is Instagram can just like block your account. So that's obviously what's happened. And just a heads up, Rob has a lot of money. So if you want to know how to be more efficient and work smart, not hard, and leverage cash, then you're going to be in a great space for that. Rob's written over 18 books. He knows how to simplify the process. He's a 9-figure entrepreneur in total, so you're going to be in a great space, and you got to learn how to master money, guys. That is really the core component that drives every single business. If you're not leveraging money and making it work for you, then you're stuck in a hobby. And so I couldn't recommend that enough. I've learned so much from how Rob teaches about money, and it's very important to get very clear on the stats and the numbers and all of those sorts of things, and in a short period of time, for no money, all right, just by DMing Rob over Twitter money, you can start leveraging money too. So yeah, great resource, Rob, and super excited for them to jump in.
Thank you, Ed. If you're going to spend your time, make sure where possible you're building an asset on that spent time. Record a live that you do on audio so you've got it as a podcast. If you're creating content, think, how could this be a book one day? Or could I write a blog that I could SEO and get monthly traffic to? So that little tweak in your thought process, which is, if I'm going to spend my time, how do I create an asset? Let's say you have to do a sales call, at least record it. if you're given an instruction to a member of your team, could you do it on video software on your laptop? So then they've got that as ongoing training. If you're going to spend you might as well build an asset out of it. This, I think, will really help people. Because isn't it frustrating when you have to do something over and over and over again? If you ever hear yourself saying, I'm sure I've freaking told someone, I've told you that 1,000 times, I keep telling you that. Well, you can't blame them. You've got to blame you and take responsibility. So, yeah, that's what I just like to help people with the thought process. It's kind of a bit insane to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again without creating an asset out of it. So there you go.
That's an epic share, Rob. Wow, that's working hard, not smart. And working smart, not hard is leveraging other people's information. And again, if you're not leveraging people's information that's already gone through the process, that's already done it for you, then you're missing out on it. Just wanted to check Nichelle, Chiante, Chloe, we've got 10J, we've got 10G, and they have some smart, work smart, not hard. Share that conversation with some tangible. Sorry, the audience can walk away with. 10G, you wanted to jump in on that? Chiante, I'll go Chiante, and then I'll come down to yourself, Colin. Chiante in the house.
Hey, what's up? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is a start to a beautiful day, although it's raining here in New York. It's always a pleasure to share an entrepreneur start and scale up club. Rob, Gary, Carmelia, Ed, Samantha, everybody on the stage, Nichelle, 10G, Rocky, Awin, Chloe, and Dane. This is a great room. Working smart, not hard for me. What I've been doing is laying the groundwork. Um, you may or may not know I'm launching my own publishing company. I raised some money. I'm like employing the whole, OPM method, other people's money. I'm gonna try it out and see how it works out. So what I've been doing is laying the groundwork. Um, I have one book that we're coming out with that is based around a specific topic. It's a children's book. But what we're doing is we're actually using the book as a branding tool. In terms of distribution, what I've been doing to work smart and not hard is I've decided that initially we're not going to try to sell the book at bookstores, but what we're going to do is target another vendor, another store, another type of store, and um, give them full distribution rights, and then focus our marketing efforts on just driving people to their website. For me, I think that that's working very smart because the people who would be interested in the book already shop at that website, and so that's one way with which I'm working smart and not hard. Um, Relationship development is key to that because you can cut a lot of corners. For me, I want to try to keep this little enterprise that I'm building as tight and small as possible. And I want to keep my responsibilities that manufacturer it will go straight to it. So I've out my plan. Talked a lot about taking advantage of technology, ways to work smarter, has to offer, not just um, in terms of systems, but also in terms of marketing. Um, the social media platforms create so many unique opportunities to present your product to a different market. And what's great about social media is that it gives you direct access to tastemakers and influencers who could actually, with a click of their button or a post of a picture, can dramatically increase your marketing reach. So when it comes to working smart and not hard, a lot of times that comes with spending more money. But the return is worth the extra money spent. For instance, and I'm going to go back to my project. because I'm currently debating because I would lose 50% of my of the sales by partnering with this brand. But what we could do is actually just hire two people whose jobs is just shipping. Um, but respectfully, that's not really working smart. And what happens is by me sacrificing a portion of my sales, I'm able to focus my energies on the development and distribution of all the other products that we desire to manufacture based all around this one brand. Um, that's all I'm gonna share for now. I have a bunch of other stuff too, man, but I don't want to hog the floor. This is Cayente Captain Young Money, and I'm landing my plane.
Yeah, great share, Kanti. I mean, dude, I mean, building up relationships, equity within partners and relationships is definitely a work smart, not hard. And I think in today's world, there is no such thing as competition based on the fact there are so many clients out there, and therefore there's already a load of people that have built those audiences as well. How can you give to those people so that they'd want to reciprocate and build an authentic relationship of genuine care and really giving a shit about each other, not just how can I get access to other people's audience so that I can make cash is not the way to look at it. Collaboration is the game today, 100% collaboration, and really making sure that you're doing your part to support to support people that you think are really great in your industry and build those relationships. It's been super privileged to be part of the UK Mod Squad, like myself, Gary, Carmilla, Ed, Samantha, and all the great speakers up. I love, partaking with supporting you guys as much as I can. So yeah, really appreciate that great share. Colin, I'll come down to yourself, buddy.
Ed, just before you go to Colin, I'd like to ask you something, Ed, if you don't mind. Is that okay?
No, Rob. I'm afraid I'm closed to questions today. No, I'm kidding. Woohoo!
It wouldn't fucking matter if you said no anyway.
To the moon!
Yeah. Right. So before we ask Ed a question, make sure you're following Ed, myself, Gary, Carmelia, Samantha, and all of the speakers on the stage. Because look, there's some great speakers here. I've spoken on so many stages with nearly all of them. Also, if you want to make sure that your hallway in Clubhouse is filled with good rooms and good speakers, you need to follow the speakers that you resonate with. Otherwise, you'll get a load of really random rooms in your hallway and you'll have to keep scrolling and you'll miss rooms like this. So it is a benefit to you, not just the speakers, for following them. So, for example, hit my orange head, and then next to my orange head is the follow button. Hit the follow button. And then next to that follow button is the notification bell. Hit that too. And what that means is when we go live, you will get notified and you'll be able to get in the room first. And what does that mean? Well, you'll see underneath the speakers, there's a followed by the speakers section. So we've got Jenna Lee and Tanya and Lance and Randy Lynn there, for example. These are followed by the speakers because they followed the speakers. And that means you can jump up into that part. And when we do Q&A rooms, which John Lee and Ed often do, but not in all of our rooms, but many of them, it'll be much easier for us to see you, to bring you up on the stage, to get your question answered, and then grow your own following and get noticed by the speakers. So it's really beneficial for you to just take that little moment to follow all of the speakers that you're not already following and turn the notification bell on. The next thing it's really beneficial for you to do is to hit the greenhouse top right. Right at the top there, on the right-hand side, is a greenhouse. Hit that and you'll join the Entrepreneur Start and Scale Up Club. Why would you want to do that? Because we've already brought 3 billionaires to the channel via the Start and Scale Up Club. And we've got one more coming and one more I'm discussing. And we bring the billionaires in through the club on the Money Monday room. So hit that greenhouse. It's also in the top 2 biggest entrepreneur clubs on Clubhouse when you search for entrepreneur on Clubhouse. So hit the greenhouse there, you'll join that club. I've got big plans for the club and, some things that make us very connected, a network of mastermind, like-minded people. I've got some massive people in that club: Paris Hilton, Grant Cardone, the UK Mod Squad, you name it. So hit that greenhouse, join the club. Okay, yeah.
Hey
So
Rob, can I tap in real quick?
please, Keontae, tap in.
Yeah, man, your club is one of the best clubs on the app for entrepreneurship. And literally, as you know, I'm developing my strategies for this company, because like I said, I'm not using my own money, and respectfully, I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose anyone's money. I've been really just patterning a lot of things you guys have been saying day in and day out. The information you guys provide daily is usable information, from you to Gary, my man Ed, Samantha, and all of the speakers on the stage. So I want to encourage everybody, like, really take advantage of this opportunity to work smarter and not hard. The best way you can work smarter and not hard is with information. The more information you have, the more resources you can tap into. And the best way you can gain information on Clubhouse is to follow clubs that constantly provide real world examples on how you can grow your business and your brand. So that's why I'm here. I choose this room to be in the morning, because I recognize the value that it adds. So I would encourage everybody in this room. There's 400 plus people in this room. Scroll to the top, follow the club, follow Rob, follow Gary, follow Ed, follow Samantha, follow everybody on this stage. Carmelia, because I guarantee you will
Morning.
not. Good morning, beautiful. Because I guarantee you will not be disappointed. And I say this to you not as, owner, but as a client. Thanks, Rob. This is Kayente, Captain Young Money, and I'm landing my plane.
That's really kind of you, Keontae. And I've just checked the club because I haven't looked for a while. And we are almost at 100,000 members. We're literally 99 point something. So obviously 100,000 people almost probably aren't wrong about the club. So thank you for that. That's so kind of you, Keontae. So Ed, question for you, my friend. You're one of the best exponents of leveraging online when it comes to working smart, not hard. Building an online business, turning the information and the experience in your mind into coaching, consulting, speaking, training. Could you talk to us a bit about that area of working smart?
Yeah, sure, Rob. I mean, it's it's just such an exciting area to be in. I think in today's world, if you have information, all right, and if it's in your head, why not put it into a product or a program and literally leverage it online today? It's one of the most efficient, the most effective ways to do it. And so, the global e-learning industry is literally expanding beyond all measures. It's, projected growth this year alone is like 1.6 billion. And so therefore, I was thinking about this the other day, Rob, and I think kind of intuitively, like we kind of lack purpose sometimes. All right, we lack meaning sometimes. And I think that's part of the human growth cycle. But when you really look at, what people do today and what really gives fulfillment, I believe it can be actually drilled down into just one main thing, that really, really makes fulfillment. Of course, like you've got to make income. I'm not saying that that's not important, but like really, what is important when you look at, like, why does a nurse do what she does? A nurse loves helping people. A nurse helps people through that transition of going from disease to non-disease, whatever that may be, right? When a lawyer is helping someone, they do that through an information sharing. They protect them in a legal situation, and they get value over helping someone do that thing. When an accountant helps you save tax, they feel good because they helped you save tax. When you help someone lose weight, you feel good because you were able to do that. When you help someone avoid a divorce, that you've helped someone avoid a huge amount of potential pain, and arguably the most pain that you'll ever go through. Going through a divorce, the knock-on effect of what can happen to children is devastational. And so therefore, all of these things are just really helping someone do something. And I suppose the biggest thing I see, Rob, today is that people don't realize that they have information in their head, and they can leverage it in a really effective way. And that's what I've been able to do. And I think once you're clear on number one, that you have information and you can leverage it, all right, the fact that I can do this on a global scale means that you can, because I failed massively at school. I got 3 E's. I wasn't someone that was super intelligent, and I got into coaching because I tried to jump in front of a train, and at the last moment I got pulled back and I got a second chance at life. And so that's how I got into coaching, to fall in with the process of the fact that you can change the way you think. And if you change the way you think, you change the way you feel. And if you change the way you feel, you change your actions and your behaviors, and your results start to appear different, and your reality is different. And so in a relatively short period of time, I moved through the health niche. I moved into the more depression coaching niche, and then started a full-scale agency. And every single niche that I moved into, I was just helping someone to do something with the information that I was learning at the time. And so a work smart, not hard leverage tool is to think, what information do I have right now that someone would actually want to pay? All right. And then figure out, number two, have a clear plan of exactly how to do that. And in today's market, there are very quick ways of which you can do it. You can put that into an online course, do it on the go. You can do these things over Zoom. You can have a clear structure of how to get clients in, and you can scale very, very quickly. And we've helped clients do that from scratch. So yeah, I think it's a very exciting market right now, Rob. And so therefore, to literally put your and make it work in the quickest way possible. Does that make sense?
Totally, Ed. I think that people think that maybe their information, someone's doing it better, or how could they monetize that or sell that? But I don't agree with that at all. I think that it is more simple than ever to turn your passion into your profession, your vocation into your vacation. And why wouldn't you want to do that? Surely that's the best way to live, isn't it? To love what you do and do what you love. And Ed, in the lockdown, I know people who do dancing and fishing and all sorts of nichey things have absolutely smashed it and become millionaires selling their information. So really all it is asking yourself, what do you know well that you're confident in? Could be martial arts, could be it could be an area of law, could be franchise law, or intellectual property law. It could be anything. It could be a hobby. It doesn't. See, I think people think it has to be business related. It doesn't. It could be a hobby. You could know. It could be an expert on vinyl. You know everything about records. Anything. And Ed, if people want to start in this world, but maybe they don't know what they know, or they don't know how to turn their information into income, is there anything they should do, or any way you can help them?
Yeah, I mean, thanks, Rob. Appreciate that. Yeah, we can help you do that. I mean, I've been doing it since day one. I started coaching in 1996. That's the first thing that I ever did, and it's still the only thing that I do as my main core business. And what I was able to do is go through the niches. And so I've done everything from health, wealth, and relationship into an online. That's what we do. We've got thousands of same 3-step process, which is really simplified into a sale, into your program line in the quickest way possible. Yeah. So if you are in the audience and you are a coach, consultant, if you're in the information game and you want to learn how to do that in the quickest way possible, we've got a step-by-step process of exactly how you can do your first 10K month off the back of a group coaching program. And although that may sound like a huge amount for you, maybe it doesn't, I don't know, but that's actually only $495. A $495 live coaching program with 20 people is your first 10K. Now, you can do that in a one-to-one. We have had clients go straight off the bat and do 2 high ticket sales at 5K each. But again, it's you're unique, and your offer is unique, and your information is unique. As Rob said, I mean, we've got clients in the music industry teaching their hobby. We've got horse riders, for example, that teach other people how to do horse riding. And so I've got Veronica teaches people how to have an orgasm. I mean, I don't know if that's a hobby or a skill, who knows what it is, but she does over 100,000 doing that. It's completely automated. She now is building her signature program off the back of that, which is in the relationship space. And this year I'm really excited to see, because she's doing her first feminine healing retreat. So it's, you know, like, information is the game today. So yeah, if you're in the audience and you want to know how to do that, and you want a really clear plan of exactly how to do that, what I can do is I can open up some one-to-one sessions with one of my team, so that you can actually get a coaching session of exactly how to do that. And it's a real person, so there is a real value in that. And yeah, what they'll do is actually take you through the exact step-by-step plan using my method, which is called the client and automation method. So you'll be able to leverage that. And I've been building it. Sorry, my back was hurting so much. I've been building that over the last 10 years, and you'll be able to walk away from that call with exactly how to do your first 10K month. If you're already doing that, we'll show you how to automate it so you can hit your 100K year. And we'll show you how to do 100K a month if you're already doing 100K a year. Now, I've got 12 clients right now that are doing 100K per month. Johnny, who is one of the quickest clients I've ever done, who literally did that in 2.5 years, and he did that with a simple lead generation into an online program at 494, and that was it. Right, so he's got thousands of clients at 494. He's just recently put his prices up to a high ticket level, but the majority of that is done on a 494 program, which is very easy to sell. It's very easy to deliver. And so, yeah, I recommend, depending again on niche, we'll work out your price point. But yeah, if you want to get access to that, if you click my green profile and you go up, do a PTR on the top, on the middle left, excuse me, that's Ed with the green head. If you go down to my Instagram account, and if you follow me on Instagram so that you don't get caught up in the junk box, and then you DM me free call, messenger sequence will send you an application if you're clear on where you are to you, because you're individual, a unique approach. They'll ask you a bunch of questions so you get really clear on what the key challenge is. They'll show you exactly how to hit that first 10K, to automate it to 100K plus. And then if potentially you want to work together as a client, we'll walk you through what that entails. If we think you've got a great offer, and if you think it makes sense for you, regardless of whether we work together or not, you will leave that call with a really clear plan of exactly how to do that. And we specialize in coaching, consultancy, information, online programs. I've created over 24 of programs myself. We do over 8 figures in revenue with that 3-step system. And so you can literally replicate it. Before you actually jump on the call, we'll send you my clients and automation guide, so you can go through it and see how the structure is placed into your business. And with that comes actually a couple of bonuses, like how to do, you know, a webinar on one-to-many rather than one-to-one. And there's a specific way of how to do it so that you're not teaching how-to content. A lot of coaches suffer because they're teaching too much how-to content. It's a big problem in the industry. I'm not saying the how-to content is not valuable, but it has to come in a certain point. And so if you teach too much how-to, then most likely that people aren't buying from you, and that's the reason that you can't actually get clients. And so therefore I'll show you specifically in that guide, which is a free training before you jump on the call, exactly how to create what I call method-based content. And method is the way to do it, which creates a much stronger desire for actually people to work with you and solve the problem that you can actually solve for them. It also comes with how to actually do group coaching so you can get massive results with your clients. If you can't get massive results with your clients, then it's really hard to actually grow that business. And we've got 1,000 testimonials alone on my client automation method. So you're going to leave that with a really clear plan of exactly how to do it. We've had people, you know, give us great testimonials around those calls. For example, a guy recently paid $800 for a one-to-one strategy session because guys, it's a real person. I've spent hundreds of thousands training my team, so please only book that if you are serious and committed and decisive and really want to grow in the quickest way. We've had people spend $800 with another company, come on one of our calls and be blown away. You know, a guy recently called Dan was literally, we fixed his offer, fixed his niche. We get people up on the stage that come through and said they've jumped on one of the call with the team and found it incredibly helpful because they got their message dialed in, their ads weren't working, you know, their content just wasn't working. So yeah, really excited. If you're in that, there's 497 of you in the room right now. So just a heads up, I don't have thousands of these to give away. So it does come on a first come first basis. For the first 20, that click my green profile, go down to my Instagram, DM me free call. I'll make sure that you get that. And I'll make sure my virtual assistant's in there as well, because I know the call for it, and book it, and we'll get that sorted. And it's completely for free. There's no hidden charges, there's nothing. And you'll walk away with an exact plan of how to hit your first 10K without the hassle, and then automate that to your 100K. And then if you're really going good already, we'll show you how to simplify the whole process so you could do $1 million in your business using the actual step-by-step process that we use. So Rob, really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ed. If anyone hasn't yet DM'd Ed, make sure you do it right now. He's the best in the business at launching and teaching coaches, consultants, trainers, and helping you turn your information into income. So make sure you message him 100%, the best in the business. And Ed, thank you very much for that great share. In the house. Also, we've got Orwin is in the house. We've got Jennifer in the house. Would love to hear from Jessen next. So Jessen, we're talking about working smarter, not harder. Do you have some tactical stuff that you can teach people on working smarter and not harder in their start and scale up business?
Cool. Thank you, Rob. Now, let me just switch this on. I'm getting some. 1 second, please. If anybody, I'm actually in a live room, by the way. Everybody on Clubhouse, how you doing? I'm actually teaching at the moment in front of a live audience. I was supposed to be on a break, and then Rob dragged me out. And now I'm actually speaking to my audience as we speak, showing them how to add value on Clubhouse. So I'm double whammy here, adding value to you guys, as well as teaching my audience. So say hello, everyone. Cool. So there are people here. Now, if you're in the room, by the way, with me, can you do me a favor? Can you make sure you are switched off on Clubhouse, or you turn your volume down? Otherwise, I'm going to get echoes. So thank you for having me in this room. I'm going to be super quick because obviously I'm conscious of time, and I'm in a room full of students. So love this topic. This topic is the one that's dear to my heart. Work smart, not hard. And first of all, the first thing I want to say is this. As an entrepreneur, you've got to give yourself permission to not work hard. I think many of us, what we're doing is running around thinking that we need to work hard all the time. Why? Because it's a very old school draconian mentality of working hard. We're told by teachers, parents, that you've got to work hard. You must work hard. You must work hard. Now, there's some truth to that. The truth of the matter is we do have to work hard, but should you work hard for the rest of your life? No. Were we put on this earth to pay bills and die? No. I think the bottom line is you've got to give yourself permission to work less and enjoy your money. What's the point in being the richest person in a graveyard? What's the point in leaving this world and never having to spend a penny of it? Look, if you're going to make money, do it in a smart way. We're living in a world where we've got lots of tools available to us to be able to do this in a very highly leveraged way. So with that in mind, I don't have long to talk to everybody about this. Yeah, but what I do have is I've got some content to share with you guys that should serve you. Now, there's seven key laws that I believe every single business should follow. So if you're a startup business and you've got a pen to hand, take notes. If you're already in business and you've got a pen to hand, please take some notes, because I'm going to share with you 7 key laws that every business follows, including my own, as well as my clients, that should you decide to follow them, you will find massive, massive growth in your business. But not just that, you'll find how to work in a highly leveraged fashion. Let's just jump into what those are, okay? So the first law in business is psychology. Now, the reason why I focus on psychology as the first law that you should learn in business is because every Tom, Dick, and Harry is teaching strategy up front. Now, whilst you need strategy in business, clearly there's something that stops us from implementing that strategy. Now, let's be honest. Every single one of us, if I'm very honest, know what we should be doing. We know what we should be doing. We know what we shouldn't be doing. We know when we should be doing it. What stops us from doing it? The story that we tell ourselves, whatever's going on in our head. So does it make sense to you to continue overdosing on strategy when you're not overloading on your mindset, on getting in the right mindset to implement this stuff? So with psychology, there's 2 parts of psychology we need to understand in business. Your own psychology. When you understand that we can be the biggest chokehold on our own businesses, what you'll find is that you're gonna literally see where you're actually limiting your growth right now. Because all of you, like, you follow all these incredible speakers. And by the way, if you're not following everyone on this stage, go and do it now. Follow absolutely everyone. They're dropping bombs today. Like, if you listen to every single person on this channel that has been sharing some tips, some of them are sharing with you multi-million-pound ideas. And for many people, sadly, what happens is they go home and they talk themselves out of implementing it. So what should we do? Work on ourselves. Work on yourself. I want you all to write down, when you finish today, 1 big, massive limiting belief belief that's been holding you back, such as I'm not good enough, don't know how, don't have the money, don't have the resources, why would someone pay me, don't have the credibility, whatever it is. Write down one of those biggest limiting beliefs that you currently have that's holding you back, and then ask yourself a very simple question. What evidence have I got to support that belief? And you'll be surprised how little you have. You don't have a lot. Many of us were trying to convince ourselves that we're not good enough. Look, you're much better than you think. Please understand that. The second part of psychology you need to understand is the psychology of your audience. You see, many people are running around selling to people, assuming that somebody has a problem and telling them to buy their thing. Now, how many times have we been DM'd before by people trying to sell us something that we don't need? They're like assuming that you need this thing. They assume that you need their product or service. And like, how many times have people done that to us? And it's offensive, right? Like, how many DMs have we had before where people say, take this product, it will change your life? You cheeky son of a, how do you know my life needs changing? Like nobody knows this, right? So a lot of people think that you need their product or service, and it's not the case. I want you to start understanding what makes your clients tick. Very interested in demographics, what gender are they, what age they are, all that kind of stuff. That's all important stuff. It's all really, really important stuff. But I'm very interested in psychographics. You see, psychographics is the reason why people do what they do. It's the reason why people do things. Think about it like this. The person, demographic, who says they are broke and have no money, why is it they still find the money to go and buy the latest iPhone or the latest gadget, whatever it might be? It's got nothing to do with their demographics, right? It's got everything to do with their psychographics, what's going on in their head, why they buy. So get to understand people's buying behavior and you'll never run out of clients again. Which brings me on to my next point. Products. The second law in business is products. You should create your products based on other people's problems. Now, you've heard lots of people before say things like, build it and they will come. If anyone tells you to build it and they will come, please do me a favor, run away from that person. Just run away from them, right? Why on earth would you build a coffee shop and then look for customers? How does that make any sense? Doesn't it make better sense to find out if people actually want to drink coffee in that area first and then go and open the coffee shop? Or better still, take some pre-orders before you open that coffee shop, get people to buy in right now. Think about that. How many times are we going off and creating stuff, building courses, building programs, building products, offering things out, not even knowing if people want them or not? Look, understand this. If you're taking notes, write it down. Successful people sell their value before they create it. Plain and simple. Like, if you can find out what people are going through, you can find out what challenges they're facing, and you can go and survey them and create products and even pre-sell them, take pre-orders. So if you're just starting out in business, here's my biggest tip for you. Go and survey your audience or your ideal customers and find out what are their actual problems, and then redefine or redevelop the product that you're thinking of offering to tailor it to their needs and problems, okay? If you're already in business, here's a tip that should you decide to implement it, you will make money tomorrow. Go and survey your existing customers and find out what additional problems they've got. Find out what other existing challenges they've got, because you might not be able to solve them, but guess what? Could you JV with someone on this panel? Could you JV with somebody else who has a product or service that could solve that problem for somebody? Of course you can. That's how you work smart. You leverage your time. You maximize what's called customer lifetime value. Every single one of you who've got existing customers, you're sitting on gold right now. You could be making more money tomorrow should you implement that strategy. Which brings me on to law number 3. If you want to make better money, if you want to charge more for what you do, if you want to have people come to you rather than you chasing them all the time, then you've got to work on law number 3, positioning in the marketplace. You see, at the end of the day, please write this down. Perception is reality in business. How people perceive you will become their reality. If people perceive you as being small, they're going to think you're small, and they're going to be surprised when you try and charge big prices. If people perceive you as being bigger than what you are, then you can charge what you want, and they'll go, well, you know what? That person's very credible in their industry. So how do you work on your credibility? How do you boost your positioning in the marketplace? For me, one of my favorite tactics is working on your personal brand. You see, I see a lot of people pushing their company brand. My company does this. My company does that. My company does this. Look, if you want to grow as a person, you've got to build your personal brand. Here's what needs to happen in the marketplace. When your target audience has a problem that you can solve, if they're not thinking of you and thinking of someone else, we need to fix that. So what's the best way to do that? Push your personal brand on social media. What do you stand for? What are your morals? What are your ethics? What are your values? What do you stand for? What are you the authority in? What are you the go-to person in? Because so many people are running around saying they're an expert, which is wonderful. Join the fucking club. Everyone's an expert. Everybody's an expert. All right. If you want to get ahead, I want you to start elevating your level of thinking and saying, I'm the authority in my industry, not an expert, because we have been preconditioned from an early age to respect authority. If you're the authority in your industry, suddenly you can charge higher prices, which brings me on to law number 4. There's no point being the world's best kept secret. If you want to grow as a company, if you want to expand, you've got to work on law number 4, which is promotion, your marketing efforts. Now we've got this thing, as this is the work smart, not hard room, you've got to do it in a smart way. Here's what I say to you, because it kind of ties in with your positioning as well. If you want to get leads coming to you, then learn to leverage one-to-many marketing strategies. Stop running around, with all due respect, from networking event to networking event, shoving freaking business cards and flyers in people's faces and expecting them to respect you. What is everybody else doing at that networking event? Probably the same thing as you. Listen, let me tell you something. Have more respect for yourself. You've got a great product. You've got a great service. You know you can change lives with what you do. So why run around chasing people? Elevate your level of thinking. Instead of you going to other people's networking events, what's stopping you creating your own? Why don't you put on your own networking event? Public speaking is one of the best ways to do that. I'm sitting here right now with an audience full of people who are going to become the world's next best public speakers. Why? Because they're leveraging what they do one to many. That's a smart way of doing it. Have people come to you rather than you run around chasing them. You can do this on webinars. You can do this on Zoom calls. You can do this on Facebook Lives. You can do it on Instagram Lives. You can do it on YouTube. You can do it on a podcast. You can do it right here on Clubhouse. Look, success leaves clues. What is everybody on this panel doing? Leveraging their marketing efforts one to many. You've got to understand that. So that's you doing it in person. The other way you can do it is using sales funnels, getting sales automated funnels to generate leads for you. Look, every single one of you should be able to wake up in the morning and have an inbox full of people who want to work with you. Think about that. Isn't that a much better way of doing it? Have people come to you rather than you running around chasing them. Listen, I get why we chase people, because we want the sale. I get that. But you've got to be more respectful of your time. Time is your biggest commodity. How many times have you gone out for coffee with people and they've wasted your time? How many times have you rang people that were just interested in having a chin wag, having a chat, and they just wasted your time? Look, with all due respect, learn to respect your time more, which brings me on to law number 5, processes. If you want to grow in business, if you want to scale your business in a good way, then here's what you need to do. You need to start taking what's in your head and putting it into systems that other people can follow. Here's why. What good is the information about running your business in your head if you were hospitalized tomorrow and could not work? Have a think about what I've just said. All the knowledge you've got in your head. If you were hospitalized tomorrow and could not work, what good is that knowledge in your head? Now, for most people, sadly, if they got hospitalized tomorrow and couldn't work for 6 months, their business would probably suffer badly, or it wouldn't be there when they get back. Plain and simple. So with that in mind, have a think about it. Are we actually being liabilities to our customers and those who rely on us? Possibly. Think about that. So you've got to take what's in your head and put it into processes that other people can follow. That way you're leveraging other people as well. Now, there are 7 core areas of your business you need to systemize. Obviously, I don't have time to go into them now, but I'm going to give you the first one that you should all go away and do. Every single one of you should focus on systemizing your sales process. That way you can earn whether you're there or not. You see, if you're the chokehold on your business, if you're the only person selling right now, it means you're drying up your cash flow. You should be earning whilst you're out delivering your products and services as well. Now, there's 2 ways to do that, and you should do both of them. The first one is take the sales process out of your head and empower for you. Teach other people to sell on your behalf. Automated sales funnels, technology. You see, the beautiful thing about sales funnels and technology is that they are 24/7 sales machines. They don't ask for time off. They don't moan about stuff. They don't ask for annual leave. They don't go off sick. They just work. So all of you should be working like smartly, right? This is how you earn money while you sleep. You've probably heard of it before, right? Earn money while you sleep. Well, if you want to earn money while you sleep, you've got to do something while you're fucking awake first. There's a difference, okay? Go out there and get stuff done. Make it happen. It's really, really important. Which brings me on to law number 6. Law number 6 in business is people. No people, no business. There are 3 types of people you must be aware of in business. Number 1, your ideal customer. What does that mean? Please stop saying to everyone who has a pulse and a checkbook. Not everybody deserves what you have to offer, and you shouldn't offer it to everyone. In fact, the more exclusive you make what you have to offer, the more people actually want it. Business, when it comes to your ideal client, is about disqualifying people, not qualifying people. Yeah, it's about disqualifying the people who shouldn't really be working with you. It doesn't make them bad people. It just means they're not suitable for your product, your service, or your price point. So go and find the right people to sell to. It's very, very important. Second type of person in business you need to be aware of is your team. You can't do everything on your own. Please write this down. 80% of your success comes from other people. I'll say it again, 80% of your success comes from other people. Successful entrepreneurs know about leveraging other people. Look, stay in your lane. Stay at what you're good at. Stay in your gift zone. Do the things that you are good at. Don't keep focusing on trying to do absolutely everything yourself. You're going to burn out. So what you want to do instead is take the things that you're good at and focus on them alone. Then you leverage other people's skills. Go out there and get other people to do stuff for you. Third type of person you need to be aware of in business is your circle of influence. I can't stress how much more important this is. You've got to hang around better people. They say you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? So think about it. If you're hanging around 5 negative people, guess what, my friend? You're going to be number 6. And if you're hanging around 5 broke people, with all due respect, there's a good chance you'll be joining them being number 6. You've got to elevate who you hang around. And I get it, it's tough. Sometimes the people you're doing it for are the ones who are being negative towards you, right? Maybe it might be a partner, it could be a best friend, could be a parent, could be someone very, very close to you. You're doing it for them and it hurts. Well, look, just understand this. If they're being negative to you, they're only trying to protect you in their own way. You've just got to learn to love people from a distance at times and give instead, because people who they're seeing is believing people. So what should you crush it and show them you can do it, all right? Some of us are talking, but we're not doing. So go out there and do it and prove the haters wrong, prove the people who are keeping you back wrong. Just go out there and make it happen. Which brings me onto the final law in business, the holy grail in business, profit. Everybody wants to make a profit, and you should. Sadly, though, I see a lot of entrepreneurs running around being freaking Mother Teresa, doing it for free, helping people, paying everybody else except themselves. Right. Look, if you're going to be in business, please do me a favor. Pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. Why would you work and not pay yourself? Would you go to work for somebody else and at the end of the month not collect a wage? Of course you wouldn't. So why do we do it in our businesses? You've got to learn to pay yourself first. And the reason why a lot of us are not able to pay ourselves is because we're not driving enough money into our business. Look, they say cash is king. We've all heard that before. Cash might be king, but you know what? Sales is queen, my friends. If you're not selling, you're not going to get any cash. If you've got no cash, you've got no business. So learn to master the art of selling. Now, why don't people sell? It's because they think it's sleazy. There's a negative connotation attached to selling. Look, you've got to shift your identity around selling. If you have a great product that can save somebody's life, literally, then you're not selling, you're serving them. You're serving them by solving a problem. Think about it right now. If you had the cure for cancer, would you not stand on the rooftops and scream and tell everybody that you have found the cure for cancer? You'd be selling that to every single pharmaceutical company you can. Why? Because it saves lives. So have a think about your product or service right now. If you've got a product or service that makes somebody else's life better, you're saving their life. If you've got a product or service that improves someone's health, you're extending their life. If you've got a product or service that reduces someone's stress levels and improves their quality of life at home, you are literally saving their lives. Every single one of you is a lifesaver. So go out there and serve people with what it is that you do. So those are my 7 laws in business. Rob, I hope that added value to absolutely everybody here.
Jason, that was absolutely epic. Thank you very much for those 7 P's. What a great share on working smart, not hard. And know you've got a live audience. So just before you go, is there any way anyone can continue to work with you, get more information from you before you leave the room?
Awesome stuff. Yes, you're right. I do need to go. I do have to carry on with what I'm doing. If you got value from me, then look, here's what I want to do. I want to hang out with you a bit longer. So this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. UK time, 7:30 p.m. UK time, I'm hosting a masterclass on this. Now, this masterclass is completely free to attend, and I'm going to be honest. I'm going to pour into you some incredible knowledge. If you want to work with me after that masterclass, we can have a sensible conversation then. But the complete masterclass is absolutely free of charge for you to attend. So here's how you're going to do it. You're going to register in a second and I'll explain how, but let me explain what I'll cover on there. I'm going to deep dive into the psychology of why people buy. Why do people even bother to buy from you in the first place? How can you identify people's buying triggers and tap into them so you don't have to worry about selling stuff to people that they don't need? I'm going to teach you the top industries to get into right now to either create new products in for your existing business or launch your company into. There are some top industries that you should get into right now that you all should take advantage of. I'm also going to be sharing you my 3 top strategies on how to boost your positioning in the marketplace literally overnight. And I kid you not, just one of these strategies, should you implement them the following day, will have you be seen as the authority in your industry literally overnight. Remember, this is all free of charge that I'm giving it to you. I'll talk to you about how to automate your marketing processes in a much more leveraged fashion so you don't run around doing one-to-one all the time. I'll also teach you about processes and why you need them in your business and how do you create them. I'll teach you also how to find your ideal clients and make sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people. And last but not least, I want to give you a recipe on how to make more money. Now, look, I just want to throw a caveat in here. I'm not your get-rich-quick person. However, what I will give you on this web class is my $100,000 recipe. What's my $100,000 recipe? It's a very simple yet effective step-by-step guide for how every single one of you listening, whether you're starting up or already in business, I'll show you exactly how to make your first or next $100,000 or £100,000 or 100,000 euros using this very simple formula. And when you come on that web class, I'll gift that to you absolutely free of charge. And yes, can you do it? Of course you can do it. The question we have to answer is, do you believe you can do it? That we'll address on the web class. So those are the things I'll cover on the web class. It's absolutely free to attend this Thursday, 7:30 p.m. UK time. Now, here's how you register. Do a pull to refresh on the screen right now. Pull to refresh, and you should see me on the second row in the middle, just below Carmelia, I believe, with Jason with the blue background. So if you click onto my Clubhouse profile, make sure you follow me on Clubhouse. That's really, really important first, so you get notified whenever I join rooms. And then what I want you to do is scroll down to my Instagram page. When you scroll down to my Instagram handle, click onto that and open up my page on Instagram. Now, this bit is important. Make sure you do this, otherwise you won't get your message through to me. Make sure you hit the blue follow button on Instagram. That's very, very important. Follow me first on Instagram. Then DM me the word business. Once you've followed me on Instagram, DM me the word business, and my team will send you the link to register for that complimentary masterclass. It's going to be about 90 minutes, possibly longer. And it's a live masterclass, by the way. It's not some pre-recorded stuff. It's live in person, so you'll get to hang out with me on this Zoom call, this webinar live in person. So DM me the word business. Now, my team will then send you the link for this web class. Now, this bit's important too. Once you've registered for the web class, DM me the word done. DM me the word done, D-O-N-E, DM me the word done, and my team will send you a gift. It's a free gift, completely free of charge. This is my 7 ways to make money gift. Every single one of you will be able to get this gift from me. It's completely free of charge. And but you have to let me know whether you're registered or not. So once again, click on my Clubhouse profile. Make sure you follow me on Clubhouse. Then scroll down, click onto Instagram. Make sure you hit the blue follow button on Instagram. Really, really important. Head over to my DMs. Hit me up on my DMs. Drop me the word business. My team will then send you the link to register for that masterclass on Thursday, 7:30 p.m. UK time. Once you've registered, please, please, please come back and say done. And then my team will send you a free gift from me, my 7 ways to make money ebook. All right, Rob. So was that useful, mate? Hope that was useful.
Yeah, awesome, Jason. Thank you. I just want to say to everyone, make sure you DM Jason the word business on Instagram right now, because he has to leave because he's got an event to run. Thanks for sharing your time, your knowledge, your wisdom, your 7 Ps. Jason is the real deal, legitimate bona fide entrepreneur, multiple business owner, multimillionaire. So DM him the word business right now. Thanks, Jason. Really appreciate you.
Cheers, everyone. I'll stay up here for a little while so you can see my profile, but I won't be able to speak. But cheers, guys. Take care, everyone.
Cheers. We also have the epic John Lee in the house. So, John, I would love to have a strategy or tactic or both from you on working smart and not hard.
Oh, I love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Rob. Yeah, definitely for working smart, you've got to be able to have systems in place. Systems is what's the difference between million to 5 million, 5 million to 10 million, and 10 million plus. And I think one of the biggest challenges for most people right now is really understanding how to create those systems. So first of all, you got to have systems. Second, having a talent funnel. You've got to have great people working for you. Now, I've taken a company public in 2019. So we're now listed on the stock exchange, but we couldn't do that without people. I mean, Rob, you've got like hundreds of people who, are working, under your wing and in your different organizations. So you have an amazing talent funnel as well. And by the way, just a quick one about Jessen. Jessen's a good friend of mine.